Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It. Shore Moon and I are just continuing to loop, rebuilding the world, one loop at a time.
If there was ever a game that was more more
Demonstrative?
appropriate for this show,
Right.
it's this game.
Yes. This
Both
Sisyphean looping simulator.
Yes, aka We Roguelike It.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hi.
And we're here for week 2 of Loop Hero. How's your looping going this week?
Slowly.
Mm.
Slowly. It turns out you need a lot of resources to upgrade that campfire at home.
Yeah.
Particularly if you want to get the Rogue, which I really want to get the Rogue and see how he plays instead of the stupid Knight thing.
Yeah, Rogue is pretty cool. My second favorite.
Is your favorite the Necromancer?
Correct.
I only know that because I glanced through the achievements, and there's an achievement called Granny Says Hi, which is unlocking the Necromancer.
Okay, that's a pretty good achievement name. I gotta give him credit for that one. Yeah.
I was amused, we'll say.
The thing that I like so much, I don't really want to spoil it, but the Rogue and the Necromancer play significantly differently, not only in how they function in battle, but also how you get and equip their gear. So it's not just, here's somebody who attacks faster, it's the Rogue. It's like, no, they have a different skill set, different equipment, and a different way of getting equipment, which I think is really clever.
Yes. So, let's see, what did I unlock? I unlocked the farm, which seems to me like it would be a better late stage unlock, so I might have to deconstruct it and reconstruct it in a better position later.
Yeah, that's the one I always struggle with, because I'm like, I plopped it down. It's like, oh yeah, it did some stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, apparently I get rations. I don't know what they are, because there is no name. Hover over this to get the name of the things that you need, so sure.
Oh, yeah, a little bit later on, you're going to be able to... how do I put this? It's probably one of the more confusing systems in this game. You can give... I think you need to build the supply depot, I think is the crux of it. But essentially, you can get named items from your expeditions and then give those to the camp and the people in the camp to then give you very, very minor buffs that persist from run to run. But they're really small.
Okay.
Like, you get extra 15 HP, and it's like, that's not great. That's not going to help me at all. So, it's a weird system.
Okay. I did just get I did unlock the gymnasium.
Okay.
Which gave me what looks like an XP bar.
Okay. Yes, I forgot. You get the XP, the yellow XP bar now. Yep.
So let's see. I got that one.
Did that also get you a new card for your deck?
It did.
Okay.
Because the farmland got me the wheat field card.
Okay.
Which I couldn't equip, and the gymnasium got me the village card, I believe. So now I got rid of like the stupid the marshlands. I got rid of the marshlands. Get out of here, marshlands.
No thanks. Get out of my deck. Yep. They're the worst.
No. Yes. So I got rid of that, and I got the village and that thing. I got rid of the cemetery too, and then of course, as I'm looking at the unlocks, it's like every time you go through a cemetery, you get this.
Yep.
Like, God.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need that cemetery later on, so that's fantastic. Which is good because you can build like 5 decks essentially. So
right,
the cemetery
I keep
loop back in later.
Heyo, I keep the village and the wheat fields in my deck constantly. There's also another card that interacts with the village in an interesting way. I'll let you discover. See if you discover that synergy there yourself. But the village, I feel like the village and the wheat fields are a kind of
they're a powerful combo. Like,
Yeah,
it's an
they're
unbelievably powerful combo.
yeah, they heal you a ton, and you can get some pretty good loot by completing the quest that the that village gives you. So it's I feel like it's kind of an unsung hero of a lot of decks.
Uh-huh. I am genuinely enjoying having that ability to heal while looping around. Like,
Hmm.
that was the thing that was killing me. I killed the Lich for the first time
Hey,
this week
nice.
because the village helped me to do so,
Yep.
um, which was fun and terrible all at the same time.
Yeah.
It did ask me if I wanted to continue, and I was like,
Hmm.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, like I beat the Lich. I think I should probably take my spoils and leave.
Yes, which
Yeah.
that is something I need to work on is the decision making of when it's time to boogie or not.
Hmm.
Um,
Ditto.
because I'm like, yeah, I've got 40 health, but I've got 3 potions, and it's not like
That's right.
this path is swarmed with monsters. Narrator voice, it was.
Right.
Um, and then I get like quarter of the way around the loop. It's like, no, now I got to run. I should have just left when I was at camp and got
Right.
everything. Because I need logs. I need wood. I need
Yep.
good, hard wood to build me that thing that gets me the gymnasium. Enjoy giggling to yourself at that one, you
That's right.
giant children listening.
That's right. Yeah, that's always my problem too, because I'm like, I got half health. I got a bunch of villages straight in a row. It should be fine. I'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
No, I was not fine. Using up like 2 of my
Yeah.
resurrections on the next fight. It's really
I
rough.
haven't even got any resurrections yet.
Yeah.
I do have the perk ability now, which I like though.
Yeah, where you can choose perks in
The
the.
perks every time you level up, yeah, like that's a handy little trick.
Did you get the chance to pick a perk after you beat the Lich? You
Did I
might.
get what? Sorry.
Did you get a chance to pick a perk after you beat the Lich?
Yes, I
Okay.
did, and I have no idea what it did.
Yeah, so that will unlock that perk permanently for any of your heroes. So when you go to, uh,
Okay.
wait, it might not be for any of your heroes. It might just be for that hero. Either way, it will be part of the 3 choices you get now every time you level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing because you're like, oh, why didn't I just get that one? But it'll be in the perk pool.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's handy.
yeah,
Because I was looking at those packs and I was like, oh,
yeah.
there's so many. I hope I don't have to know this off by heart.
Yeah, I don't memorize any of those because I just worry about the 3 it gives me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot I'm liking about this, but at the same time, it's one of those games where I feel like it is deeper than it appears.
Right. Right.
Like
Yeah,
it's definitely got a lot of layers to it, we'll say.
I feel like that's the kind of zone I'm in right now. Um, I think I'm a little bit further than I was when I played this on PC. Is I kind of hit the same wall at the same time, where I'm struggling in the 3rd level because the difficulty jump between the first area and the second area is pretty good, but the one between the second and the third is pretty significant, and I feel like I'm getting there, but I'm kind of struggling at the moment. I did unlock. I'm working on like the last couple of unlocks in the camp. I just unlocked the river, which is probably one of my favorite cards. So I'm getting back to having a fairly stable deck that I really like. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm actually uh, I'm experimenting with. I don't know if you've unlocked any golden cards.
I haven't yet. No, I'm very
Okay.
curious about that.
Yeah, so golden cards are things that start in your deck and you only get one. And it does kind of a very specific and potentially powerful thing. And I usually, I don't remember the name. I don't use Endless Maze because that one's weird. I use a different one, usually, that essentially you kind of get more loot but all of the loot you get is of lesser quality. And then it also gives you one resurrection permanently.
Okay.
It's pretty good, and the I've been playing around with the other one, Arsenal, I think it is, that allows you to equip a new armor type per character class. So you can,
Okay.
instead of just having like for the warrior is or the knight, it's just like you have your shield and sword, and you have your, what is that? I think one ring and a armor, or is it armor and boots, something like that? You get
Armor, ring, and shield.
okay. So it gives you another additional piece of armor that you can equip, and it also has a new type of stat on it for each character class. And that has worked out. I feel like I didn't really use that the first time I played. That has so far worked out really nicely. Because I think the benefits you get far outweigh the negatives for just being able to have another piece of armor to have, attack speed bonus and HP and all that stuff. So that has worked pretty nicely so far. But I'm kind of at the moment, I'm kind of working on unlocking stuff. I'm working my way through the encyclopedia, which turns out it's essentially like a codex of everything you've run into in the game. I am looking at filling out a lot of that stuff because I never knew what all the card combos were when I first played this. So I'm going through, it's like, all right, I've discovered, let's say 90% of them by myself. What's the last 10%? It's like, oh, I never would have put this next to this other thing to turn it into something totally different. Okay, let me go do that. Oh, I never use like the desert cards in the late game because I don't really like them.
Yeah.
Now I need to stick them next to a bunch of other stuff to make to turn those into a bunch of other things. So I'm kind of having a fun time going through all the card combos and unlocking all that stuff and seeing what horrors lie within, truly.
Yeah. I mean, there seems to be a hell of a lot of variety and depth to
Mhm.
to get into here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I agree with you. I think this is a game that does have a lot of depth in a really cool way, but I feel like with as many systems as there are and as much stuff is kind of happening, personally it never really feels overwhelming. I don't feel like I'm
Mhm.
doing too much or spinning too many plates at once. It feels pretty good, and I think for me the strength of it is that your character is just running and fighting by himself. I think that's one less thing you have to worry about, and you just have to worry about building the world and equipping the weapons and items and stuff. And I think that for me helps a lot for not having to worry about, oh, now I gotta take a break to do a bunch of fighting, now I gotta go back to this, and none of that stuff. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. It feels
Yeah.
very streamlined JRPG, for lack of a
Yeah.
better way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's combat and turn-based combat and everything else, but you don't have to do anything for it.
Yeah.
You just hit auto and you just kill the people really quick. It's nice and simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my only frustration, though, and I think I ran into this when I played this the first time, is trying to figure out without the wiki how you get these kind of late game things to drop. Because it's like, oh, I need 13 of these one orbs that are kind of like black and orange. I have never seen one of those drop yet. What am I exactly supposed to do to get even the first
Is that
one to drop?
like like I'm curious because I know one of the buildings I got was like when you go through a cemetery, you get a memory fragment. I was like, what's a memory fragment? I need to know.
Right. Well, and it's even like, since I have the encyclopedia now, you can look at each one of the materials and it will tell you where they drop from. So it'll be like, oh, these drop from skeletons, or these drop from marshy enemies, or these drop from automatons or things like that. So you kind of get an idea of like, oh, okay, I bet if I put this next to this and do this, I bet I can get everything going. But without the item having dropped for that first time, it can be a little bit frustrating um, to kind of figure out what to do. And when I
Mm-hmm.
looked it up in the wiki, I'm like, okay, boy, this is a building I have. It makes sense because it's a building I've never used, and I've never put this building next to the other one and like done the thing to exhaust the building next to the other one. It's like, okay, now I have a new mechanic that I can go do. So uh, that makes a little bit more sense, but I feel like the game is largely sensible up until kind of the end game, where it's like, how am I supposed to? I need 13 of these things. I have zero of them, and I've never gotten any. So what am I
Yeah.
supposed to
I'm
do
also
here?
curious if there's any like other Tetris pieces that I can put together, like the mountain peak. Like I'm really curious if there's anything else that you can do with like
Hmm.
the external layout to be like, oh, make a cross out of meadows and it turns into a holy hill or something like
Sure,
that.
yeah. I know that there's one more that I still don't have unlocked that seems like you can do that, because there are a bunch where you can put a tile next to another tile and those two will interact. That's kind of like the bread and butter for this game. But I think there is one more that you can put them in like a cross shape, like a 3 by 3 uh, kind of plus sign, and then that will do something. But I don't have that tile unlocked yet. I think that's one of the last ones you unlock. So, but yeah, I'm still having a lot of fun with Loop Hero. I think it's still really great. I'm glad we're playing it again. I'm still really impressed with how it works on controller on Xbox. It runs great, and the controller support is really really good, which is pretty
Hmm.
surprising.
That is still surprising to me, which I
Yeah,
really do like.
yeah. After fighting with Despot's game, I was just like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna work. Yikes! But thankfully, it works pretty nicely.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that is our second week here of Loop Hero. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye.